Did you know Judge Fee released Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah Hamilton from jail and gave Melly's lawyers a chance to free him too? After her release, Hamilton acknowledged her family and friends who supported her in a Facebook post on February 9th. The post reads, "And to my village, thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine," as she didn't like how the courtroom was broadcasted to the local news.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
However, the new judge realized how long Melly's been in lockup, for which is when it was announced Melly has to make an informed decision about who he wants as his lawyers. He's been sitting in our jail for over 2,100 days.
No, but let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants as lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week, and then I'm asking for at least a day or two. At minimum.
Decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
The judge can't believe Melly sat behind bars since February 2019 and is yet to get a verdict. The judge straight up said that the prosecutors better give him a straight up reasoning for why Melly shouldn't be released on a bond. This is when the prosecutors did the worst thing imaginable. They're trying to force Ban to snitch against Melly in his upcoming trial, as the prosecutors are sending in paperwork to have Borland and Melly tried in the same court case.
You can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase, it's the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found.
If Ban's also facing the crimes of taking out Zach Chaser and Juvie, when he knows he didn't, he'll likely start pointing the finger towards Melly. Ban's loyalty towards Melly has been great throughout the entire process, except for the time when Melly's team tried pinning the crime on Borton in the first trial.
For his lives, Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As his lawyer revealed, it's always been Borland who lied to the feds, had powder residue on his hands, and was the first person witnessed with Zach Chaser and Juvie after they passed. This is when we saw a forensic scientist confirm the findings of powder on his hands during the original trial.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained two component particles, and the left hand contained one particle characteristic of tar residue and one two-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was tar residue present on the hand.
Dan didn't like this. So when Melly's first trial ended in a mistrial, he tweeted out a mysterious message the same day. The tweet reads, "Mind games. Don't work on people like me," with a handshake emoji at the end of the tweet, making it seem like he's accepting some sort of deal. However, people are starting to get concerned that Melly's having money problems while trying to pay for his lawyers, because reports came out revealing Melly's mom started up a fan's account, as we saw her featured in an interview where she spoke on why she made it and how much money she's made.
You decided to break the internet the other day. You're saying that you're YNW Melly's mom and you're about to hit fans.
Why not? You make money while you sleep. And, I turned 40 this year. Why not do something crazy?
Did you start it yet, though?
What? My only... Yeah.
How much you made the first day? I just need to know the first day.
The first day it was pretty epic. It was pretty epic.
Give me a ballpark figure.
Like 40-ish, 50.
One day?
Day one.
This surprised the internet as DJ Academics shared his thoughts on it.
YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's going to be starting her own. And I got to be honest with y'all, man. Like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
Academics believes it's not about money. However, social media didn't agree, because in an interview with No Jumper, Melly's mom and brother talk about the money Melly's been spending. His mom makes it seem like everything's okay, but his brother calls out Melly's ridiculous spending habits.
Assume that he spent a lot of money on lawyers, like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
And cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry? You're not here to wear the jewelry.
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend.
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, it was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want to chain no more.
In Melly's mother's defense, she's gone through a lot with his ongoing trial, and she's likely using it as a way to get the trial off her mind, because there have been many times that Melly had to ask if she was okay. But did you know Melly's financial problems are going to get even worse, because the state is opening another case on Melly for witness tampering, as they allege Melly's the reason Mariah left the country and never showed up for the first trial. The witness tampering charge itself can have Melly behind bars for life. But another problem is that it's a completely new case, meaning Melly will have to spend more for his lawyers to cover the witness tampering charge.
6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's...
However, with Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah being involved in the second trial, she may be the one to put Melly behind bars, because people in her hometown shared how she allegedly had a call with him on the night of the crime. But getting back to the witness tampering juvies, father looked into Mariah and learned the words and ways that Melly got rid of Mariah for the first trial.
There was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures, try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom.
But with the state pursuing a witness tampering charge against Melly, they've completely shut off his ability to use the jail phones or read his mail, which is exactly when we heard his mother Jamie King talk about how it's not fair since he hasn't been convicted for his charges.
Not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
But with the jail taking away the privileges, it likely means they have evidence that he tampered and is saving it for court, as they can't risk Melly to continue talking to the outside world and possibly tampering more with his cases. But it doesn't make it any easier for Jimmy King. She continued the interview and said how she's just heartbroken for her son.
You saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Jamie talking about Melly not being treated right on the inside. It sparked some attention online. We heard from Charleston White, who said, "This is how Melly deserves to be living in jail."
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing, about being mistreated, when you done chose to play somebody.
Even Boozy spoke out, talking about just how stressful it's been for Melly's mother. Okay,
so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a...
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
But when it comes to Melly's lawyers, they've tried proving any sort of little evidence they can to get Melly a bond, cause when the new judge came onto the case, they told him how the prosecutors in the first trial admitted no firearm was ever found.
The first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which firearm I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay. They even shared how the GPS evidence proves Melly was running down the street from when the crime was going down, and how Melly was texting his girlfriend during.
The part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some. I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're...
This wasn't enough to get him a bond. But the worst part is that the prosecutors have kept investigating the Melly case as they await the retrial through their investigations over the last year. They found out Melly's motive behind the crime. They found that Melly had a close connection to King Val before he was arrested. And as it turns out, a former O-Block member appeared in an interview where he says that Melly asked King Von how to deal with Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people can say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around?
As the old Block member is saying, S.A. Chaser and Juvie were taking a huge revenue share of the Inu business. Meanwhile, Borland and Melly were working hard every day to put on concerts, brand deals, and sell merch, while Sack Chaser and Juvie didn't have as much of an impact on the team's revenue. So you can imagine what King Von's response would have been when you take into account the type of guy he used to be in the streets, therefore giving the motive that Melly wanted the business to only be split 50-50 with Portland rather than only getting an equal 25% split. And when you pair this with the evidence of Melly bragging about doing the crime, it looks extremely for Melly.
The Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHH.
But also on Melly's phone was a Facebook Live video, which shows how Melly and Portland were feeling just hours after their best friends passed.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not announcing of sadness for the passing of their two best friends, knowing how Melly handled it emotionally. The prosecutors then investigated the Jeep that they were driving, as we saw Sergeant Williams confirmed that it was impossible to have been a drive-by.